Hello! In this tutorial I want to teach you how to manage references and belongings for a project in the Advanced Workspace. So basically, when you select a project in the Advanced Workspace, you can see the files correspondent for that project. Not only in the Interface tab, but only in the other tabs too, with the other layers. So I want to teach you here how can you manage the belongings, what are the files that you can say that this file belongs to these projects. And additionally, I want to teach you how can you reference files or components from other projects into your project, so then you can reuse that code. Example, let's say they have some utility or some action or some config file from some other project that you want to reuse in yours, so you can reference that specific project or that specific file, so then you can use in your project. So I want to teach you how to manage references and belongings for a project. So let's log in our framework, choosing the Advanced Workspace and select the corresponding projects. Okay, done. So in here, in the Interface tab, in the menu, you have a menu called Manage References. So this menu, Manage References, this is where you can assign components from other projects to be referenced in your project. So if you expand, you see here all the folders from other layers, and basically you can assign that files. So we don't have any references, but because most of these files, they already belong to the project. But if I wanted to, I just needed to select some of them and then save, and automatically I could be access that components in my project when I'm creating pages, or when I'm creating templates, or when I'm creating utilities or others. So this is how you manage the references. Additionally, you can manage too the belongings of that project. So how do you do that? So you need to go to the Manage Users, and in here you have something called Manage Layout Types, Permissions, where you select the corresponding project, and in here basically it says what are the files that belong to your projects. And belonging means that you have full permission, full access permission, and full write and delete permission. So basically, as we can see here, all the current existing files in our framework, they belong to the My First projects. If I choose the common project, to be something different. So if I'm selecting here the common project, automatically I will not see the My First project or these folders here that I see here in the logic layer. I will not see this project here because the common doesn't have this project selected, doesn't have this folder selected, this one here, so I won't see this one. So basically in here, that's where you manage the permissions, the belongings, permissions for a project. And if you want to manage only the reference, you can do it through this menu here, Manage References, as I showed you before, or through this tab here, Manage References, where in here is exactly the same thing. I just needed to select one, and automatically whatever the files I wanted to reference in the common project, and then when I was editing the common project, I could then use that specific components in the common project. So this is just an example to show you how can you manage the belongings and or to reference components in your project. Note that every time that you create a new project, all these belongings are set automatically by our framework, so you don't need to worry about this. But in case you want to change something, now you already know where can you go for the belongings or for the references. You go basically in the Manage Users, and then you select this menu here, Manage Layout Permissions Type, where you see here all the corresponding projects. Additionally, if you want to see all the layouts that they are created, you just go to this menu, Manage Layout Types. You click it here and you can see all the corresponding layouts. Basically what the system does is create a layout type for each individual project that you create too. If you want to add a new layout, you can always click here Add, and then choose the corresponding project and automatically it creates the layout. Both, we just have these two projects. If you create a new one, it will do this automatically, but let's say that in case it doesn't do, you can always do this manually too. But this is just an example so you can understand. You have manage layout types and then the manage layout type permissions, where you can then manage the belongings and the reference, and that's it. So thank you very much.